Now, from the news station, this is 7 News, live at 5.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Chilly temperatures today. It seems that's the pattern that we're in for now.
Yeah, it's a very wintry feeling as we got a 24/7 chief meteorologist. I mean, we dodged the winter for a while, but we're in it now.
Oh, yeah, we're in it, and you're going to really know that you're in it tonight because fronts coming through to kind of reinforce the chilly weather that we had around yesterday. And in addition to that, of course, we've had some snow shower activity up in the high mountains of North Carolina. Now, right now in Asheville, it's 43 degrees, right in the lower 50s across the upstate and northeast Georgia. That's not too bad. That's average for this time of the year, but the front has not been able to really bring in that secondary cold air mass. The winds are up, though. A wind advisory is in effect until 6 o'clock this evening across western North Carolina. You can see those wind speeds are sustained at over 20 miles per hour and mainly out of the west. Going through the evening hours around the upstate, look for upper 20s by 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll start tomorrow in the mid-20s. So protect those pets and pipes for tonight. We'll talk more about the cold and what else is on the way coming up in just a few minutes.
That's vicious cold, isn't it? The cold, dry, and gusty air means this is a bad time to burn anything. National Weather Service says it is in fact dangerous to burn anything for the next hour till 6 o'clock. Experts advise any outdoor burning should be done with extreme caution.
Spartanburg County investigators are searching for clues tonight in connection with a woman nearly shot to death outside of her Moore home.
This happened Thursday evening as she was returning home from work. 7 News reporter Dave Jordan following the latest developments on this case. He is standing by live now. Dave.
Well, Stephanie Batchelor's condition has been upgraded to serious. This after she was shot in front of her Reedsville Road home Thursday night when she was coming home from work. Officials have no suspect information, so this has been a very difficult case for them to investigate. But take a look at the scene where all of this happened. This is where Stephanie Batchelor's husband found her shot when she came home from work, as I mentioned on Thursday night. The deputy responding saying she was in a pool of blood, face down in the grass. Even through all of this, she remained unconscious, and she was able to speak with investigators, telling them she felt as if she was shot, but she was not able to give them a description of the shooter, so investigations are still continuing. Authorities now looking near the Tiger River for evidence.
Evidently, investigators through the course of the investigation developed information that would lead them to believe that they needed to go out there and do an article search.
Investigators confirmed that Batchelor's car was taken. It was recovered a short while later and not too far from where the shooting happened. It has since been processed for evidence. They are still, however, as I mentioned, looking for clues. They're asking anybody if they have any information on this case to call 911 or to call the sheriff's office directly. We're live near the Tiger River in Spartanburg County. Dave Jordan, 7 News.
All right, Dave, thank you. Certainly a story we will be following.
All right, now how about a mobile meth lab that forced the city of Greer to shut down a lane of traffic late this afternoon? Take a look at these pictures from Air 7 as hazmat crews were called to a section of Wade Hampton Boulevard. This is near Morrow Street.
Yeah, we got a lot of calls into our newsroom about this one. The lane was set to reopen only a few minutes ago, but we hear it was backed up for quite some time, or at least backed up traffic. Police say they have 2 people in custody and are working with hazmat crews. Again, we're talking about a mobile meth lab here.
Just into the newsroom, the Greenville County Coroner's Office says a 2-year-old girl was murdered in Greenville. She suffered serious head injuries back on January 4th in an apartment on Lily Street. She died yesterday at the GHS Children's Hospital. The autopsy is still underway. It's being investigated, though, as we say, as a homicide. We're waiting for more information now from the sheriff's office.
The Spartanburg County is looking to change the way you view the area. The Chamber of Commerce has hired outside help to find and fix the issues that matter most to you. Brianna Smith sat down with leaders to discuss what's to come for Spartanburg in 2016.
It's a new year, along with new projects in downtown Spartanburg. Proving dirt can be a good thing.
If you see growth in the industrial sector, you see dirt moving, you see downtown, the AC Hotel, $20 million project, you see the growth in the new residential units. 58 new businesses have opened up in the city of Spartanburg, downtown specifically, since January 1st, 2013. That's progress that people can see and they can get their mind around, and it's tangible.
Alan Smith and Todd Horn with the Spartanburg Area Chamber of Commerce are adding a new focus to the new year.
The timing is right. there's been a lot of redevelopment happening in downtown. The momentum's there, and so now is the time to capitalize on some type of visioning plan.
The past year was filled with big announcements like the Dollar Tree Distribution Center on the Spartanburg-Cherokee County line and a new hotel being built in downtown Spartanburg. Their biggest task coming up, however, is overcoming the perception of Spartanburg.
Perception is reality, and the thing is that the perception of Spartanburg is changing, and we often say there's no better time than now to be in Spartanburg.
To capitalize on that, the Chamber has hired an outside firm that for the next 10 months will take in community ideas and review data to show exact places that the county can improve upon.
We're going to spend the next 10 months figuring out what's important, what needs to be a priority. But then phase 6 is going to be, how are we going to get there? How are we going to act?
So that the vision for the next year is even brighter. In Spartanburg, Brianna Smith, 7 News.
So you can get involved in this. The Spartanburg County Chamber will be holding a vision meeting for the community on January 22nd. You do have to register for this event, and we put a link for that on WSPA.com. Well, the state is ramping up efforts to combat human trafficking. It is something that many people may not know is a problem in South Carolina, but statistics show otherwise. Attorney General Alan Wilson and Human Trafficking Task Force members are the state's human trafficking records. They are looking at those to better understand where the problem originates and attack it. Well, the annual report released just this week highlights progress, goals, and what the task force is already working on.
People have got to understand that the girl across the street could be a victim of human trafficking, or that the couple across the street or the guy across the street could be a human trafficker.
The task force has opened several shelters for victims throughout the state. They give public awareness, ongoing victim assistance, and more. General Wilson said human trafficking is a $150 billion enterprise per year, affecting nearly 21 million victims worldwide, and it does happen in South Carolina on a regular basis. The report is available online, and you can find that link at WSPA.com.
Had some pretty big cases of that in the upstate recently. Deputies in Cleveland County say they have found an internet predator who tracked his victim on social media. Deputies say Joshua Sellers, you see him here, had a sexually explicit conversation on Facebook with the juvenile and exchanged pornographic images. Deputies say further investigation revealed Sellers actually met up with the victim and had inappropriate contact. His bond set at $500,000. The Anderson County mother charged with the murder of her newborn will stay in jail. A judge granted no bond for 23-year-old Joni Holcomb in court yesterday. Actually, that happened today. Deputies say Holcomb confessed to the child's death and burial. The baby's body was found near Cherokee Circle and Sioux Street on Saturday. Holcomb's case will go to circuit court now, but there has been no trial date set.
Former Afghan Taliban captive Bo Bergdahl appeared in a military court today in North Carolina for a pretrial hearing. He faces charges of desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. Bergdahl disappeared from his military post in Afghanistan in 2009, then was kidnapped and held by the Taliban for 5 years. He was freed in a prisoner swap.
At noon tonight, 10 U.S. sailors are being held by Iran. The Pentagon says 2 small U.S. ships entered Iranian waters. Thankfully, the situation is expected to be resolved quickly without confrontation. Secretary of State John Kerry is talking to his Iranian counterpart now to unravel the situation. The Clemson Tigers on their way back to the upstate after a hard-fought, maybe a little disappointing game against Alabama, though they played well in the national championship.
And although the Tigers didn't win, they are expected to receive a very warm welcome home from fans today. And we'll have a live shot of the team's arrival at GSP Airport tonight at 7. Then they're going to head down to Tiger Town, where thousands of fans are waiting for them. And 7 News reporter Aaron Rodgers is in Clemson getting ready for all the fun.
So, Aaron, the fans there must be awfully excited to welcome the players back home.
Diane and Gordon, they absolutely are. We talked to a lot of people around Clemson this afternoon. They say that they are not disappointed by this season in the least bit. And you know, we're at the West Zone now. That's where the team will be coming in just a few hours. They say that they'll be here tonight to welcome home their team after a great great season. Even though Clemson lost to Alabama 40-45 in the national championship game last night, as I said, all the Tiger fans we talked to say that this couldn't have been a better season. They are so proud of their team. Now, Clemson fans say that they will be here even though it was a tough loss. They said that the team really gave it their all, and that's why they're going to show up to welcome them home tonight. And they say that because of that game, and even though the outcome, there's really nothing to be disappointed about. And we actually got to talk to a student who was at the game. He flew in at a red-eye light last night. He just got back to campus. He told us all about his experience being at that championship game.
34 years since our last national championship game that we've been able to play for. And I am not disappointed in any way, shape, or form right now. You know, walking out of that game, I was smiling the whole way to the airport. I mean, just one of the greatest displays of character I've ever seen from a football team.
If you want to welcome the team back to Clemson as well, you can come on down here. They'll be back here around 8. Of course, I'll be right over there at the West Zone. Live in Clemson this evening, Aaron Rodgers, 7 News.
All right, Aaron, thanks for that. It would be one thing if they went out to the championship game and got whooped, but they didn't, right?
No. In fact, the point spread was far less.
6.5 was the predicted point spread.
Yeah, and it was 5, so it was less.
They I guess, made their gamblers happy, but they played great and came this close. And Clemson ending the football season a very good one with 15 wins, a wave of good feelings. Over the past semester, the winning season bringing tourism and a lot of community pride.
Yeah, Christine Brown is here to tell us how Clemson fans and businesses came out on top despite one tough loss.
They played their hearts out and they did an amazing job.
The end of the national championship game was a nail-biter for Clemson fans at home.
Went up and high-fiving, and then the next minute you got your head in your hands and complete silence, but then then you erupt again, then high-fiving, and just kept believing, just like they didn't give up, we didn't give up on them either till the very end.
And even though the Tigers didn't win, fans are holding their heads high.
I knew before it started that I was going to be proud of them. Win, lose, or draw. I mean, they just put their heart into it, heart and soul.
I think there's something in the water here, most definitely.
Some fans say they're wearing orange and purple today to show just how proud they are of the hard work the team put in the entire season. Tigers are also showing up on social media to let their team know they're still all in.
I mean, it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. I mean, when you walk into Death Valley, I mean, it's incredible. The stadium rumbles when the Tigers roar.
Businesses downtown are showing their support by thanking the team for a great year.
It's amazing to see just how much our fans appreciate our players, and they stand behind them.
The successful season has drawn more customers in what is normally a quieter time of year. Mr. Knickerbocker's Greek Gallery says this is the busiest season they've seen in years.
So there's usually a big lull, but this has been a lot different.
And the Clemson family hopes to keep this momentum going to let everyone know that the Tigers' success doesn't end here.
Like Dabo said, we'll be back next year.
In Clemson, Christine Brown, 7 News.
Well, national championship gear is also still selling fast at several stores in downtown Clemson. So you better hurry if you want to get something before it's all gone.
Many people getting in on this $1.5 billion Powerball jackpot. The lottery frenzy, not so much fun for people with a problem with gambling. We're going to talk about that struggle coming up. First, though, quick check of the traffic. If you're headed out tonight, here's 85 at 385 in Greenville County. At least things are moving, though a little bit slower on 385 southbound. Live at 5, right back after this. Tonight, President Obama will give his final State of the Union address. Our congressional correspondent Alex Schuman tells us what we can expect to hear.
It has been and still is a hard time for many.
President Obama promises his last State of the Union will be different.
So the last State of the Union is all about legacy.
Policy professor Jeremy Mayer thinks the president will defend his executive action on guns and new steps taken to fight ISIS.
I expect this State of the Union to look back on where Obama has taken the nation and to look forward with urgency so that there's just a few things the man can do between now and November.
President Obama is expected to talk more broadly, not spending much time on specific legislation.
It's about what are the last few things you can do in your presidency that will make a difference.
The president will likely review this year's victory for same-sex marriage, an increase in jobs, and possibly the deal made with Iran. Speech professor Bob Lehrman says there's no guarantee what the president talks about will turn into real policy.
There are scholars that have researched this, and they'll say, oh, he gets about 40% of what he asked for. But remember, he's not going to ask exclusively for things that he knows can't get through, because then everybody thinks he's a loser.
One of the seats next to First Lady Michelle Obama will be left empty in honor of victims of gun violence. In Washington, I'm congressional correspondent Alex Schumann.
Now, this will be the president's last State of the Union address, of course.
Right. So we want to know, how do you feel about the state of our union? We put up a poll. It's on WSPA.com. Tell us, do you think the union is stronger than it was last year, weaker than it was last year, or about the same? We're not revealing the results yet because we're going to do that just a little bit later in this newscast.
Well, there's a blustery day out there today. A lot of strong winds around. We've had some blue sky, a little bit of cloud cover, but overall a quiet day. Outside of all of that, there's a live look at GSP International Airport where temperatures topped out in the lower 50s this afternoon, pretty close to average. We have a front that's going to work through the area this evening, and that's going to mean another cold night for us. We'll look for mostly clear skies. A hard freeze is on the way, so make sure you protect those pets and pipes once again tonight. Overall, quiet weather is on the way for the next 2 days. We have a good chance for some rain showers in the forecast on Friday, and then over the weekend, a chance of some snow showers that will be a possibility for the mountains. That's going to be the next system that we'll be tracking. Satellite map tonight shows that the majority of the cloud cover is over western North Carolina. And earlier today, we had a round of snow make its way through the high mountains from northern Haywood County up into Madison County. But a lot of that has kind of subsided. Just a few leftover snow showers up towards the Tennessee line. We've had a few clouds around the upstate, but not very many. And as the winds start to get a little lighter later on tonight, we'll start to see any clouds going away. And of course, dropping temperatures as well. There's about where that front's located tonight. The main area of low pressure on the northern end of this is helping to produce some snow showers from New York State back into Virginia. Lake effect snow happening as well. And then, of course, cold air surging southward tonight. Wednesday, 5 a.m., we'll all get off to a clear and cold start.